Hello, it's the MENOFIT Bootcamp check-in. Just emailed everybody on the challenge. I'm just going to share this into my Studio Live group. I've got a question, which is awesome. So let's see who jumps in. So every day this week, fingers crossed, I'm going to jump in around 5:15 and do a Q&A or just a chat really around menopausal symptoms, menopause, peri, post, and answer any questions that you might have. And hello Tracy. Just spread the gospel of health and fitness for all peri-menopausal ladies. So the one that we're talking about today this is something actually that's come up. About 3 people have asked me about this today, which is strange. But I think because there's so much info around on the socials about menopause, if you're interested in menopause, it's everywhere. It's like if you decide that you're going to buy a red car, what do you see? You see red cars everywhere. So you're interested maybe finding out a bit more information around menopause, or it's of your interest or your passion, or you're teaching menopausal programs, then suddenly it's everywhere. Have you noticed that? So interestingly enough, midsection weight gain is a topic, a question, a comment, feedback that comes back over and over again. And you might, or your clients might feel that they are doing everything right, whatever everything right actually means. That they may be, you might be exercising regularly, you might be eating healthily. And eating healthily, I think sometimes people think, oh, well, I'm not having takeaways every day. Hello, everybody. I'm not having takeaways every day, and I don't eat chips every day, and I don't, etc. So therefore, I'm eating relatively healthy. But actually, if you wrote a food diary, if you wrote everything down, and every single thing that you ate, and you did not report, everything went in a food diary, or you used an app like MyFitnessPal, you would see then if you're in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus. So you can be eating all the healthy food, you can be eating all the broccoli and the avocado and everything, but if you're eating in a calorie surplus, you do gain weight. Now, caveat here, when you're going through perimenopause, the metabolic rate is naturally slowing down. It's not massive, it doesn't suddenly slow down that slow, but it does slightly slow down. So if you are doing pretty much everything that you did maybe 10 years ago, and you're thinking, well, I'm doing everything that I've already done and I'm still gaining weight, well, it is down to the hormonal shift. Your appetite changes, cravings change, your hunger changes. And also because of the hormones that are declining, the weight gain that you have, or the weight storage on your body, it changes. So maybe in your 20s and your 30s, if you put weight on, you may have put it on your legs, your thighs, your shoulders, your back. But then as you come into menopause, you notice that it's all very much around your midsection. So that's really common. So number one is to make sure, first of all, that you are eating in a surplus or a deficit. So if you want to lose weight, it has to be a deficit. So if you think you're doing everything right, number one is track your calories for a week and see where you are, and ensure that you're in a deficit. If you are eating in a deficit and you are still putting weight on, 100% then it's maybe a red flag, and it might be worth then going to have a chat with your GP, and maybe getting a thyroid test, because if you've got an issue with the thyroid, which again is quite common, and remember the thyroid regulates your metabolic rate. So if there's a problem with the thyroid, then you can get a blood test and you can find out whether there is a thyroid issue, and then you can have medication that will bring your thyroid back up to normal levels, and then your metabolic rate will come back to normal. So rule out, if you are doing everything, rule out number one, that you are eating in a deficit, you're not in a surplus. Number two, check there's no other medical issues, thyroid problems that again might be having an impact on your metabolic rate and weight gain. So they're 2 quite big ones. Hi. Yeah, it's with it's a calculation that you can work out. So Nikki's just asked me, how many calories should you be eating to be in a deficit? So again, this is really interesting topic. So you work out an equation, a mathematical equation, and it's called your total daily energy expenditure, your TDEE. So you can go to Google and you can put in total daily energy expenditure, and it will bring up like a little chart. And you can put into that chart, you can make that calculation. So if you know how tall you are, either in centimeters, and you know what your weight is in kilograms, you can put those two figures in, and it will ask you what your how active are you. So again, always put sedentary. Don't put that you're doing exercises, because it will skew it really low. And it will give you, again, it's not an exact science, but it gives you a ballpark of what your total daily energy expenditure needs to be. So let's say, for argument's sake, it comes up at 2,000 calories. So for you, give or take, if you eat 2,000 calories consistently over 7, 14, 21 days, then you are going to maintain that weight. So if you eat more than 2,000 calories over a week, then you're going to gain weight, you're in a calorie surplus. And if you lose less than your total daily energy expenditure, you're in a deficit. But how aggressive does that deficit need to be? Again, this is where, when you're perimenopause or menopause, getting that balance right is going to be quite important, because you don't want to take your calories down too low, because again, that causes, again, more stress on the body, more cortisol, and it can disrupt the hormones. So it needs to be just a very slow, moderate calorie deficit. And with a deficit, it's not just having a deficit every single day. So you can be in a deficit Monday, Tuesday, you might be at baseline on Wednesday, you might be in a surplus Thursday, you might be back into a deficit on Friday. So it's overall, it's not going to be one day, which is again why, if you do want to lose weight in menopause, take your time for a month, 2 months, 3 months, give yourself a long period of time and just slowly decrease the amount of calories that you are consuming. Now, again, this is from coaching women for decades. Much better, a better way of doing this from the beginning is give yourself a longer period of time to do this and focus on one thing at a time. I think I've been on every day and said this. Just focus on habits, and habits that you're going to do for the foreseeable future. So around nutrition, just look at how you are building your meal. Are you eating plenty of vegetables? Is half of your plate lots of veg? Are you eating adequate amounts of protein? Are you not snacking between meals? Are you doing my favourite? You're closing the kitchen after your evening meal. Are you drinking enough water? If you do that for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, see where you are then. Then see how you're feeling. Then see if you've lost any weight. Because for so many women, getting the basics right, the foundations of healthy nutrition, is enough. You then find that you are losing weight, you find that you're getting your energy levels back, you're feeling more positive, you're having more energy to train, you're exercising, etc. Your sleep's improving, your mindset's improving, and that's enough, that's plenty. But then if you do all of that and you're still not losing weight, and that's a problem, then again, that might be then you start to look at tracking and use apps, MyFitnessPal, or write everything down, or then maybe go and see your GP. So I think before you go to actual calorie counting, there's a lot of improvements around your food behaviors that you can do. And we often don't even realize some of the habits that we've taken on board. You might be cooking your evening meal tonight, and you're cooking and you're eating and you're cooking and you're eating and you're sampling. And before you know it, you sit down and have your meal and you're not even hungry because you've been picking, and then you eat your meal. So you've probably eaten way over the amount of calories you normally would if you didn't pick while you were cooking. You just sit down and eat your meal. You might be nighttime nibbling, going into the kitchen at 9 o'clock and just eating whatever. That could take you 1,000 calories over your daily energy expenditure. So it's just being aware as you go through the day, some of the habits that you might have adopted for lots of different reasons. So I hope that helps today. Just a small, just a little bit of a conversation around midsection weight gain and unexplained weight gain. I think so many people say this to me all the time. I'm doing everything right. I've not changed everything, but I'm putting weight on, or I'm putting weight on around my middle. Oh, it's down to the menopause. And it is to some degree because of the hormonal shift. But 100%, just, dial back in with your healthy habits. And this is why, like Nikki, my groups and programs that you're doing, it just helps that accountability. Just that reminder. Have you done today? Have you drunk your water? Have you done your exercise? Have you had your 3 healthy meals? Have you had your greens, your protein? Yeah, brilliant, big tick. So every day you make a plan. And until those habits are ingrained into your day and you can do them for the foreseeable future, again, it's constantly working on them and practicing them. So, but the good thing about midsection weight gain is you can definitely make a difference, 100% make a difference with the right exercises, the right training. And the training is a bit of cross training. So you do some cardiovascular work, you do some strength work, you do mobility work, you might do some stretching, some Pilates, some yoga. You keep your exercise, your workouts nice and varied. So you're hitting all your different aspects of fitness. Hello, Judy. How are you? Gosh, a long time no see. Oh, you know what, Judy, though, as well, it's the basics are the most important things. Get the basics right first, refine them. We see lots of people online, okay, calorie deficit, right, everybody go to a calorie deficit. Yep, that's how we lose weight. But ultimately, relearn yourself healthy nutritional habits, food behaviors, because over the years, we take on all kinds of habits around food. And often just, okay, let's look at this now and let's just do the checklist. Are we doing all those basics? Are we getting them right? Are you having enough macro and micronutrients because you're eating a really varied diet? How many of us go to the supermarket every week and just buy the same stuff, eat the same meals constantly over and over again? We need to mix it up, change, different cuts of meat, different fruit and veg, different grains, trying different pulses, maybe having a few days where you have meat free, changing it up all the time. Yeah. Oh, you must come and teach it. It's just been so popular, the MENOFIT program. But the nutrition part of MENOFIT is healthy habits, relearning. It's almost relearning yourself how to eat healthily again. Because by the time you get to menopause, so many people anyway, been on that many different diets and, we've got all kinds of baggage around nutrition. It's just getting it all right back to basics, listening to your body when it's full, learning to slow down when you're eating, chewing your food. These are all such common sense. But a good coach is going to help you and guide you and encourage you to improve your food behaviors. And often then the weight starts to change, you start to feel fitter, you lose the weight without having to resort to actual calorie counting. So there you go. Hope that helps tonight. Bit of a motivation on around nutrition. Any questions, comments, thoughts, feedback, and lots of vino. Oh, I'm not even going to go on vino tonight. I'll have to do an alcohol one, won't I? A little talk about alcohol. But I hope that was motivating. And I hope if you are perimenopausal, menopausal, or post, these little chats and all this great information that's going around with October being Menopause Awareness Month is really inspiring you to take your health and fitness back into your own hands. And there's so much you can do health and fitness wise. There's just really is so much you can do. And you can really improve your health and well-being and your mental health and well-being, through exercising regularly and just, again, focusing on your nutrition and having a coach, have some accountability, do it with other people. I run programs all the time and it really helps for everyone to be doing this together and encouraging people to do it. Yeah, you're very welcome. I'm a non-alcoholic, but steroids have not helped, definitely. Hello, Patsy. Patsy, it's an interesting one, isn't it? But, alcohol it's very calorific, and people don't realise how many calories are in, a large gin and tonic, a couple of glasses of Prosecco. Before you know it, you've drunk 1,000 calories easily. Now, you might find that you're eating really healthily in the week, and then at the weekend you have alcohol. So remember I taught you earlier about your calories overall. So it's not just that one day. If you add up all your calories over the week and they take you into a surplus, whether it's alcohol, whether it's food, you're going to gain weight. And there's other, alcohol, it's sort of empty calories, very sugary, it can hit the liver. And also because of we're in menopause and the hormones, you may have in your 20s and 30s been able to drink, to all night, party all day, do all those things. And now you notice in menopause a couple of glasses of wine and you're feeling rough, and you're feeling rough for days. Really common. Hey, Tara. I hurt when I woke upstairs, or even I was so fit. Yeah, absolutely. But I think alcohol is such a big subject, and I'm not going to tackle it all today. But overall, it is perhaps managing your alcohol intake. Yeah, kind of gluten free, but if you are definitely sensitive to gluten, you've got to be sure that you are. Get the right test on people. I'm gluten free. Have you had a real test? Are you celiac, whatever? You make some sort of more sound diagnosis before you start to omit food groups and things like that. All right, guys. Hope that helped tonight. Yeah. Oh, I'll do that. Yeah, I definitely have got some advice on that, Patsy. I'll definitely bring that up tomorrow. All right then, guys. Have a lovely evening. I hope that was helpful. Questions, comments, thoughts or feedback, let me know, and I'll address any other questions tomorrow. And if you do want to do the MENOFIT training, just give me a shout and I'll send you all the details. Have a look through it. All right, gang. Have a lovely evening.